Good morning, students. Good
Good
morning.
morning, ma'am.
Okay, how's your exam? Is it easy or tough? All of you, please switch on your video. Okay. So I hope it's fine, right? I'm not completed the paper checking. After that, I will make a correction. Okay, so in the last class, we just started our fourth chapter, moving charges and magnetic field. So we can just revise the points that we were discussing in our last class. After that, we can move to the next topic. So what do you mean by magnetic field? Punya, magnetic field.
Region of space around a magnet where the effect of magnet can be experienced.
Okay, it is the space or the region around the magnet where you influence the magnetism is known as magnetic field. Michael, how we can represent magnetic field using which letter?
B.
Yes, capital letter B. All right. Then, Gauri, what is the SI unit of magnetic field?
Tesla.
Tesla. Naurin, can you say the dimensional unit of magnetic field?
Newton second by Coulomb meter.
Newton second per coulomb meter. All right. Then next, Nandana, who discovered the relation between the magnetism and that of the electricity?
Hans Christian Ørsted.
Hans Christian Ørsted. All right. Then Aditya, can you define what you mean by Lorentz force?
And it's a combined force on charged particle due to both electric and magnetic field.
It is the combined force experienced by the charged particle when it is moving in a uniform electric field and magnetic field. All right, good. Anna, what is the equation representing the Lorentz force?
F net equal to QE plus Q into V into V.
F, the total force or the net force is equal to QE plus Q into V cross B. All right, then Vidur, what do you mean by velocity selector? What do you mean by velocity selector?
Device used to separate the
Hmm.
charges.
It is a device that is used to separate the charges. Okay, all right, good. Then next, Achyut, who employed this method of velocity selector?
Sir J.J. Thomson.
Sir J.J. Thomson. And can you say the equation of velocity selector?
V is equal to E by B.
And what is this V, E, and B stands for?
I forgot to write that down.
What is E? Capital letter E.
Electric field.
Electric field. B. B, B.
Ma'am,
That is what is we were discussing in this chapter.
magnetic field.
Magnetic field. And what is V?
Velocity.
Velocity. Okay, all right. Then Adul, what is the condition required for the velocity selector?
Force due to electric field and force due to magnetic field are equal.
Both electric field and magnetic field are okay, mutually perpendicular, and the force experienced by both electric field and magnetic field must be equal. Okay, so I hope all these topics are clear to you, right? Can we move to the next topic? Can we start now? Okay, all of you please switch on your video. So today we are going to discuss about the motion of the charges in a magnetic field. Motion of charges in a magnetic field. All of you write the heading. Motion of charge in a magnetic field. motion of charge in a magnetic field. Under this topic, we want to discuss 3 subtopics. The first one, movement of charge parallel to magnetic field. Second one, movement of charge perpendicular to magnetic field. And the last one, movement of charge at an angle theta with that of the magnetic field. To discuss about the motion of charge in a magnetic field. So under this, we want to discuss 3 subtopics. Movement of charge parallel to magnetic field, movement of charge perpendicular to magnetic field, and movement of charge at an angle theta with that of the magnetic field. Okay, we can discuss it one by one. First, we want to discuss movement of charge particle that is parallel to magnetic field. Can I rub this?
Not completed.
Okay. So now we can discuss what happens when a charged particle is enter into a magnetic field in a parallel, perpendicular, or at an angle theta with that of the magnetic field. First, we are going to discuss about the movement of charged particle which is enter parallel to a magnetic field. We can discuss all these 3 cases one by one. So the first case, movement of charged particle which is parallel to magnetic field. For that, first of all, we are consider a uniform magnetic field. Here we are consider a uniform magnetic field. And suppose a charge Q with velocity V enter into this magnetic field. Suppose you imagine a charge with a velocity V enter into this uniform magnetic field. Suppose a charge with velocity V enter parallel into a magnetic field. Then what will be the force experienced by the charged particle? What will be the force experienced by the charged particle?
Q into V cross B.
Yes, F is equal to Q into V cross B. Here a charge Q with a velocity V enter into a magnetic field in a parallel manner. Then what happens? The charged particle is experience a force, and that force is given by F is equal to Q into V cross B, or we can write F is equal to QVB sine theta. F is equal to QVB sine theta, where Q is the charge, V is the velocity, and B is the magnetic field. And what is theta represents? What is theta?
Zero.
Okay, what is theta? Theta is the angle between velocity and that of the magnetic field, right? It is 0 here. We can discuss it. So actually this theta is the angle, which is the angle between the velocity and that of the magnetic field. So now we want to calculate the value of theta here. Okay. So what is the direction of the charge particle and that of the magnetic field? Or how this charge particle enter into the magnetic field? In which direction is it? Is in perpendicular or parallel? Parallel. So what will be the direction of the charge particle and that of the magnetic field? Here the charge particle is enter into this magnetic field and it is move in this direction. What is the direction of this charge particle and that of the magnetic field? They are along the same direction. Here the movement of the charge particle and that of the magnetic field are aligned along the same direction. Then what will be the value of theta? What is the angle between them? The angle between the velocity of the charge particle and that of the magnetic field is 0. Therefore, the force become F is equal to QVB sine 0. Since the direction between the velocity of the charge particle and that of the magnetic field are along the same direction, the angle between them is equal to 0. So we get F is equal to QVB sine 0. And what is sine 0? What's the value of sine 0?
0.
0 is equal to 0, which implies the force experienced by the charge particle when it is enter into a magnetic field in parallel way, it is equal to 0. This is the first case. The movement of charge particle parallel to magnetic field. If a charge particle moving parallel to a magnetic field, then the force experienced by that charge particle will be equal to 0. Since the direction of the charge particle, the movement of the charge particles and that of the magnetic field are along the same direction. Is it clear? And what about the path of the charge particle? If it is moving parallel to magnetic field, what will be the path of the charge particle? It is straight line. Okay, the charge particles are moving in a straight line. If it is moving parallel to magnetic field, then its path will be straight line. So this is our first case. Is it clear? So this is the exact figure. Here the charge particles are moving parallel to a magnetic field. Here the direction of the charge particle and that of the magnetic field are along the same direction. So the angle theta between them is equal to 0. So the force is equal to 0 whenever the charge particle is entering parallel to a magnetic field. If the magnetic field and the velocity are parallel, then sine theta equal to 0 and there is no force. In this case, a charge particle can continue with a straight line motion even in the presence of a strong magnetic field. Okay.
Ma'am, should we write this?
Oh, yes. This is the conclusion of this, the first case. Whenever the charge particle moving parallel to magnetic field, then the movement of the charge particle continue within a straight line motion even in a strong magnetic field. Can we move to the second case?
No, ma'am.
Okay. So here, if the magnetic field and that of the velocity is either parallel or anti-parallel, the angle between them is equal to 0. So the sine theta component will be equal to 0. So there is no force is experienced by the charged particle if it is moving parallel to magnetic field. And also in this case,
We should write down both the points. Right?
yes, of course. You only need to point out the main points. That is the angle between them is equal to 0 and they should follow a straight line motion. That's all. Now we can discuss the second case. Movement of charge particle perpendicular to magnetic field. All of you write the next heading. The second,
Anti-parallel.
yes,
Anti-parallel.
it's not clear, Achyut. Can you ask it?
And
more?
what is anti-parallel?
Anti-parallel means in opposite direction. If it is moving in opposite direction to that of the magnetic field. Parallel or anti-parallel. Sometimes if the magnetic field is along this direction and if the charge particle is moving from this direction, even though the angle between the velocity of the particle and that of the magnetic field is 0, if it is parallel or anti-parallel. Okay.
Yes.
Now we can discuss the second case. Movement of charge particle perpendicular to magnetic field. Movement of charge particle perpendicular to magnetic field. So here also, first of all, we are consider a uniform magnetic field. Okay. So we consider a uniform magnetic field. To this uniform magnetic field, the charge particle is entering perpendicular to the field. This enters perpendicular to that of the field. Consider a uniform magnetic field. To this uniform magnetic field, a charge is enters perpendicular to the field. Now we can check what happens to the movement of the charge particle inside this uniform magnetic field. So whenever this charge particle enters perpendicular to the magnetic field, it experiences a force due to magnetic field. And that force due to magnetic field is given by F is equal to Q into B cross B. Whenever the charge particle enter into the magnetic field in a perpendicular manner, it experiences a force due to the magnetic field. That force is given by F is equal to Q into V cross B, or we can write F is equal to QVB sine theta. Here Q is the charge, V is the velocity, B is the magnetic field, and theta is the angle between velocity of the charge particle and that of the magnetic field. And what do you think? What about the angle between the velocity of the charge particle and that of the magnetic field? Here the charge particle is entering perpendicular and it is moving with a velocity v inside the magnetic field. What will be the angle between V and B?
90.
It is 90 degree because it is enters perpendicular to the magnetic field. So the angle theta between the velocity of the charged particle and that of the magnetic field is 90 degrees. Therefore, the force become F is equal to QVB sine 90, and sine 90 is equal to 1. Therefore, F is equal to QVB. It is not over. So, if a charged particle enters perpendicular to the magnetic field, it experiences a force due to the magnetic field. That force is given by F is equal to QVB. But due to this force that exerted by the magnetic field, our charged particle undergoes a deflection. Okay, due to this force that exerted by the magnetic field, our charged particle Q undergoes a deflection. Due to this deflection, it follows a circular path inside the magnetic field. So whenever the charged particle enter into the magnetic field in a perpendicular manner, it experiences a force. That force is given by F is equal to QVB. But due to this force that is exerted by the magnetic field on the charged particle, it undergoes a deflection. Due to this deflection, it follows a circular path inside this uniform magnetic field. And we know that if any object, if it is follows a circular path, it experiences another force. What is that force? Yes, it experiences centripetal force. From our smaller classes itself, we are already studied that if any object is follows a circular path, it experiences another force, that is centripetal force. So due to the force exerted by the magnetic field on the charged particle, the force experienced by the charged particle by the magnetic field is given by F is equal to QVB. And due to this force, our charged particle undergoes a deflection, and this deflection causes the circular movement of the charged particle inside the magnetic field. Since it is moving in a circular path, it experiences a centripetal force. And what is the equation for centripetal force? F is equal to mv square divided by r. This is the centripetal force experienced by the charged particle. This is the force experienced by the magnetic field, exerted by the magnetic field on the charged particle. Due to this force, it undergoes a deflection and it follows a circular path. Since it follows in a circular path, it experiences another force. That force is known as centripetal force. So the centripetal force experienced by the charged particle is given by F is equal to mv square by r. And here these two forces, that is the force exerted by the magnetic field and the force due to the centripetal force, must be balanced. Then only the movement of the charged particle perpendicular to magnetic field is possible. So here these two forces are said to be balanced. That is, the force by magnetic field is equal to S. Unmute and say.
Ma'am, can you tell again why they should be balanced?
These two forces must be balanced, then only the movement of the charged particle is possible. These two forces, that is the force due to magnetic field and that of the force due to centripetal force, must be balanced, then only the movement of the charged particle is possible in a magnetic field. Or it is smoothly moves in a circular path. The movement becomes possible only whenever these two forces are balanced. That is, the force exerted by the magnetic field is equal to force due to the centripetal force. So here these two forces are equal. So we can equate these two forces. Force due to the magnetic field is given by QVB, and force by the centripetal force, it is given by mv square by r. Anything cancel? Here the V term is cancelled. So we get QB. QB is equal to mv by r. From this, we can calculate the radius of this circular path. From this equation, we can calculate the radius of circular path. And the radius of circular path is given by r is equal to, just rearrange this equation. R is equal to mv divided by qb. We brought this r to the LHS and qb to here. So r is equal to mv by qb. So we get an expression for the radius of the circular path that followed by the charged particle. So if a charged particle enter parallel to a magnetic field, it suffers two forces. One is the force due to the magnetic field, and due to this force exerted by the magnetic field, our charged particle undergoes a deflection. Due to this deflection, it follows a circular path. Since it is moves in a circular path, it suffers a centripetal force. It is given by mv square by r. And these two forces should be balanced, then only the movement is possible. So here QVB is equal to mv square by r. So from this we get QB equal to mv by r. And from that we are calculating the radius of the circular path through which the charged particle is moving. It is given by r is equal to mv by QB. Is it clear? Now we want to calculate the time required for the charged particle to complete one movement, one motion along this circular path. Okay, so the time required for the charged particle, for one circular motion, the time required for the charged particle for one circular motion, the time required for the charged particle to complete one circular motion is given by, what is the equation for calculating the time period t?
To complete
To complete one circular motion, the time required for the charged particle to complete one circular motion is given by t is equal to, where t is the time, t is equal to distance divided by velocity. Distance divided by velocity. This is the equation for calculating the time period of the charged particle if it is for completing one circular motion. The t is equal to distance divided by velocity. Or we can write t is equal to, what is the distance? It follows a circular path, that is the circumference of the circle. What is the circumference of the circle?
2 pi r.
2 pi r. So instead of this distance, since it is moving in a circular path, we can take it as the circumference of the circle. T is equal to 2 pi r divided by velocity v. Okay. So the time required for the charged particle to complete one circular motion is given by t is equal to 2 pi r divided by v. Here this 2 pi r is represent nothing. It is the circumference of the circle because our charged particle is moves in a circular path. Now again this t is equal to 2 pi by v into, what is the value of r? The radius of the circular path that we were already derived. What is the value of r? 2 pi v into 2 pi by v into mv by qb. mv by qb. So this V and this V cancels. So finally we get the time period T is equal to 2 pi m divided by QB. This is the time required for the charge to complete one circular motion. If we get the time period, we can also calculate the frequency of the motion of this charge particle. What happened? Okay. So if we know the time period, we can calculate the frequency of the motion of this charge particle. The frequency F is the reciprocal of time period. Frequency is nothing, it is the reciprocal of time period, that is F is equal to 1 by T. So here we are calculate the time that is required by the charge particle to complete one circular motion. So if we know the time period, then we can calculate the frequency of the charge particle. And the frequency is the reciprocal of time period. So F is equal to 1 by T, or F is equal to, take the reciprocal of the time period. Here the time period T is equal to 2 pi m by QB. Then what is frequency? Take the reciprocal of time period, it becomes QB divided by 2 pi m. The frequency of the motion of the charge particle in a circular path is given by F is equal to QB by 2 pi m. So if you know the time period, then you can calculate the frequency by taking its reciprocal. So in the second case, the charge particle enter perpendicular to the magnetic field. Whenever the charge particle enter perpendicular to the magnetic field, it experiences a force due to the magnetic field. And that force due to the magnetic field is given by F is equal to Q into V cross B. That is F is equal to QVB sin theta. Since the charge particle enter perpendicular to the magnetic field, the angle between the velocity of the particle and that of the magnetic field is 90 degrees. So it becomes F is equal to QVB. So this is the force exerted by the magnetic field on the charge particle. But due to this force, our charge particle Q undergoes a deflection. Due to this deflection, it follows a circular path. It follows a circular path. And we know that if any object that follows a circular path, it must possess a centripetal force. And that centripetal force is given by F is equal to mv square by r. And these two forces must be balanced for the smooth movement of the particle in a circular path. So we can say that this mv square by r is equal to qvb. Here this v and this v cancel. So we get r is equal to mv divided by qb. So from this expression, we get an equation for the radius of the circular path in which the object is follows. So from this radius, we are calculating the time period. That is the time required for the charge particle to complete one circular motion. It is given by T is equal to distance divided by velocity. Here the distance is nothing. It is the circumference of the circle, that is 2 pi r divided by V. Then we are substituting the value of r to that equation. So we get T is equal to 2 pi m divided by QB. And if we know the value of time period, you can calculate the frequency of that particle by taking the reciprocal of the time period. So we get F is equal to QB divided by 2 pi m. Is it clear? Is it clear?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, all right.
Ma'am,
So,
can you explain only how it becomes circular, the motion?
whenever the charge particle is enter into perpendicular to the magnetic field, which force is exerted on the charge particle? If the charge particle is enter into the magnetic field in a perpendicular way, what type of force is exerted on the charge particle? The force is exerted on the charge particle by the magnetic field, right? That force is given by F is equal to Q into V cross B. And here we can write F is equal to QVB sine theta. And here the theta is equal to 90 degree. So we can write F is equal to QVB. F is equal to QVB. So due to this force, what happens? Our charge particle Q undergoes a deflection. Due to the force exerted by the magnetic field on the charge particle, our charge particle undergoes a deflection. Due to this deflection, our charge particle follows a circular path. Is it clear now?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Is there any other doubt? Okay. So in the second case, that is if the charge particle is moving perpendicular to the magnetic field, what will be the path followed by the charge particle? What is the shape of the path that followed by the charge particle?
Circular.
It is circular. In the case of if the charge particle is moving parallel to the magnetic field, it is straight line. It should follow a straight line motion. In the second case, it follows a circular motion. Is it clear? Okay. Now we can discuss the third case. What is the third case? Movement of charge particle movement of charge particle.
The conclusion is not there.
Conclusion of this chapter. That's all. It follows a circular path. And here we are deriving the expression for the force. It's not force. Yes, the force that is due to the magnetic field centripetal force. And about the radius of the circular path, time period, and frequency. All these equations are important. And when it is entering perpendicular to the magnetic field, it follows a circular motion. These are the conclusion. The third case, movement of charge particle at an angle theta with that of the magnetic field. Movement of charge particle at an angle theta with that of magnetic field. All of you, please switch on your video. Okay. Again, here we are consider a uniform magnetic field. Consider a uniform magnetic field B. To this uniform magnetic field, the charge particle is enters at an angle theta with a velocity v. To this uniform magnetic field, the charge particle enters at an angle theta with a uniform velocity v, consider a uniform magnetic field. To this uniform magnetic field, the charged particle is enter at an angle theta with a velocity v. And we know that the velocity is a vector quantity, right? Velocity is a vector quantity. And here this velocity part is inclined at an angle theta. So what happens? It resolved into two components. One is a parallel component and other is a perpendicular component.
Ma'am,
No, ma'am.
can
Yes.
you tell the first sentence again?
Okay. Here we consider a uniform magnetic field and the charged particle enter at an angle theta with a velocity v. Since the velocity is a vector quantity, this is what we were discussing in our +1 standard. That is, if it is a vector quantity, it must be resolved into two components. One is the horizontal component, another is the vertical component. So just like that, here since the velocity is a vector quantity, it is resolved into two components. A parallel component or a horizontal component, v cos theta, and a perpendicular component, v sin theta. Since the velocity is a vector quantity, and here we can see that this velocity vector is inclined at an angle theta because our charged particle is enter into this uniform magnetic field at an angle theta. That is why this vector velocity component is resolved into two components. One is v cos theta and other is the v sin theta. And students, can you say from this, which component is responsible for the movement of the charged particle inside this magnetic field? Is it by v cos theta or by v sin theta?
V sin theta.
Yes,
V sin theta.
yes, very good, Punya. It is due to v sin theta. Why?
Cos theta becomes 0.
Because whenever the charged particle is entering parallel to a magnetic field, what happens? The angle between the velocity component v and that of the magnetic field is become 0. And here we know that the movement of the charged particle is possible due to the presence of the perpendicular component, that is sin theta. Or here we can say that v cos theta is responsible for which type of motion? What is the path followed by this v cos theta component? It is a parallel component. What is the path followed by the charged particle by this v cos theta component? Yes, very good. Here the v cos theta is responsible for straight line motion. And v sin theta. V sin theta is responsible for which type of motion? This is the perpendicular component. If a charged particle enter perpendicular to a magnetic field, it should follow
Circular motion.
circular path. So it should follow circular motion. Very good. So here the two components are present. One is the parallel component, that is v cos theta, and other is the perpendicular component, v sin theta. So v cos theta is responsible for the straight line motion of the object, and v sin theta is responsible for the circular motion of the object. Due to this combined effect of the straight line motion and circular motion, it follows another path. That motion is known as helical motion. Due to the combined effect of this straight line motion and circular motion, the charged particle follows helical motion. So in the third case, both the parallel and perpendicular components are present. So due to the combined effect of the straight line and circular motion, the charged particle follows a helical path.
Ma'am, helical spelling.
Helical path. Helical. Helical path. That is helix. It follows a helix. So in the first case, that is if the charged particle enter parallel to magnetic field, it follows a straight line motion. In the second case, if the charged particle enter perpendicular to the magnetic field, it follows a circular path or circular motion. Now in the third case, if the charged particle is enter at an angle theta with that of the magnetic field, here both the parallel and perpendicular components are present. Due to this, it follows by the combined effect of the straight line motion and that of the circular motion, it follows a helix or helical path. Okay. I will show the exact image. Here you can see the helical motion of the charged particle. It follows a helical path or helix. Now we want to calculate the radius of the path, time period, and similarly the frequency of the motion by the charged particle, just similar to that of the previous case. Okay. So we can derive the equations in the next class. I think it's almost 9:24. It's not over. Particle in a magnetic field. So if the charged particle is moving parallel to magnetic field, what about the path followed by the charged particle? What is the path followed by the charged particle?
Straight line.
Straight line. Okay, then Shivani, if the charged particle is enter perpendicular to the magnetic field, then what is the path followed by it? Yes?
Circular.
Circular, very good. And then if the charged particle is enter at an angle theta with that of the magnetic field, what will be the path? Nevin. Meenakshi.
Helical path.
Yes. Helical path. Okay, okay, all right. So I hope this is clear to you, right? If you have any doubt, you can ask. We want to derive the expression for radius, frequency, and time period of the path followed by the charged particle at an angle theta with that of the circular path. We can derive it on the next class. Okay. Can we wind up? Okay, children. So see you next class. Thank you and have a nice day. Bye.